What's up guys, David Moss Jr. here. In today's video, I'm doing a 1-year recap. I have had the Desert Plunge exclusive out here baking in the Florida sun for a full year. I wanna go over some actual wear and tear. I wanna go over my experience owning this, but I wanna go over, more importantly, my experience maintaining this. We're gonna go through it all. So if you're considering buying a Desert Plunge for yourself, this video will be a great resource for you to determine if it's right for you or not. If you have any questions at the end of this video or throughout, pop them down in the comments below. I will reply back to every question you have. Let's jump right in. First thing we're gonna talk about is the chiller. A lot of people ask me, they're like, David, I see online it says the chiller is not meant to be outside. Look at this thing. It's been out here for a year, outside, no cover, just some trees and the Florida weather, and it's running perfectly. This video is my opinion. This video is my thoughts. This isn't advice, and I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I still don't understand why this chiller company doesn't just change their rules. Like this whole cover, it's a cover on the outside of this chiller. The components inside are pretty much protected. I have only ever had this outside exposed in the elements for over a year, and everything works. The lights work, the buttons work, it's working. So first things first, can the chiller be outside in the elements? And my answer is yeah, right? That's the first things first. Second things second, this chiller is a 1/4 horsepower chiller, and it has kept my water exactly at the set temperature since the day I got it, and it still has today. I've had to do no maintenance on this chiller. I've had to replace nothing on this chiller. This chiller has just worked. It's super efficient, and I think a lot of it has to do with the entire setup. It's got a ton of insulation, a ceiling lid, so the chiller's not having to work so hard. The only thing, and I bring this up for anybody who's gonna have this on a covered patio or inside their gym or something like that, is the tubing can condensate. Like there's a little bit of moisture on the tubing coming from the tub to the chiller and coming from the tub going into all the components on the back here. You'll see some condensation, right? You'll see a little bit of condensation. This is where all this tube condensation develops and ends up right there. Kind of same thing. This whole tube is covered in water, and even the filter itself, the filter housing, has some water on it. So the only thing I would have you consider is, maybe put one of those little mats underneath this that, people who have hot tubs inside, I see these mats. I actually have it. I have links down in the description below if you want to check out. That'll show you what I'm talking about. But there's these little mats that you can actually put underneath this, and it'll collect all this water and prevent anything from obviously growing underneath your cold plunge or in your house or in your garage or in your gym or something like that. But if you have it outside like I do, it doesn't matter. I have it on a deck, so a little bit of drippage here is totally fine. I will point out right here, a lot of people have asked me on this, and I post a lot about this on Instagram. I'm experimenting with a stainless steel filter, so I'm not having to constantly replace the paper filters in this. I have had this filter running for over a month. I do have ozone, and that's a huge thing too. I'm all over the place on this video, just bear with me. But look at this water. I'm on Florida, I have well water. It's usually yellowish. Look at this. No paper filtration, no chemicals, nothing. All that has ran in this is the ozone, and I have it run for 2 to 3 hours every night, and it's ran through that stainless steel filter. So there is a great pre-filter down here at the bottom as well. All of that together is working great, keeping my water nice and clean, nice and sanitary, and it looks amazing. Sporadically here, want to go over this again, the chiller is fine outside, the components are working great. The only thing to consider is condensation will happen. It's just gonna happen. You have cold water meeting hotter temperatures, condensation is going to happen on the tubing going from the tub through the components and back into the tub. It's not a lot, but it's enough that you need to at least know about it. The next thing I wanna talk about is the tub itself. So I went with white. I purposefully chose white. There's a lot of different colors, and actually me and Desert Plunge might be doing a collab color here soon. I don't know if it's gonna happen. If you think that should happen, let me know in the comments below. Like, say, yes, let's do a collab. Talked about it on our podcast, and people seem to think that's a cool idea. So it could be cool, like a pro skater getting a pro board. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. The design of the tub is awesome. I have had so many different body types get into this tub. They fit in here very comfortably. It's got enough room for one person. You can fit 2 if you're sitting cross-legged and you're smaller, but really it's a 1-person cold plunge. The design is great. It's a little bit wider over here at the shoulder, and it gets a little tiny, like a 1/2 inch narrower over here by the feet. That's designed just to give you a little bit more insulation, keeping this tub nice and cold. Handles make it really easy to move around. We've moved this all over my property. I've drug it myself all over my property. A super durable tub with tons of insulation, no leak points, no issues at all. A nice gasket that goes around the lid to keep the frogs out, which is nice. And one of the things that's really cool, and they were the first to ever come up with this that I had seen, is this latch to keep my lid from falling down. Really good if you have kids experimenting with cold plunging. The only negative, and I haven't even told the founder this yet, is that one of my kids, we had a bunch of people over here, and one of my kids, or one of the kids that was over here, ripped off my handle. So Matt, this is your first time seeing this. I didn't want to tell you about it, bud, but they just like ripped it off. And I don't know if the weather, maybe like just I don't know. It actually, where it ripped is like in the backside here. But one of my latches ripped off. No worries, we shouldn't be using the latches to open this plunge anyway. There are 2 built-in handles here to open it using the lid. So that's the only thing that happened to me. It looks like it's an easy replace, so maybe I'll just have Matt send me a new one, or I'll see what it costs to buy one. But it hasn't affected anything. The lid still stays down nice and shut. But I wanted to make this video because I think it's kind of impressive that this is one of the more affordable cold plunges on the market. They use extremely reliable components that I've used since the beginning when I first started doing DIYs. Almost everyone who's bought one of these has nothing but positive things to say. So from my heart to the Desert Plunge team and to everyone who's ever gotten one of these, I just want to say, like, great job. Like, great job keeping an affordable cold plunge that is reliable and dependable. And I talked about a lot of things briefly. I want to get a little bit more detailed on a few things right now. So I want to get a little more detailed on the maintenance part of this. I was replacing the paper filter maybe once a month. I think it's because the pre-filter they use in here is like extremely small. It's probably similar size meshing to what I have in here as a filter right now. Like, it doesn't let a lot through. And because of that, if you do own one of these and you notice that your flow is not happening, the water's not coming out, you need to spray out your pre-filter 90% of the time. That is what the problem is. It's not the pump. It's not even this filter. It's the pre-filter has just collected a lot of debris. You got to think, I'm out here, I'm walking through the grass to get to my cold plunge. We're playing pickleball and basketball. We're barefoot, we're sweaty, whatever. And yes, I try to tell everybody to rinse off before getting in a cold plunge, but it doesn't always happen. So we get in and those small pieces of grass, those small pieces of dirt, all of that accumulates and it gets sucked into that pre-filter to go through the system. And over time, it just clogs up. So that's the main thing you need to do on a desert plunge, is just spray out the pre-filter. If you don't do that, that's when issues can happen. And always make sure you put it back in, because without that, the water gets sucked right into the pump. And these pumps are extremely durable, probably the most durable pump that I've used. So they're very hard to kill, but if long hair, like if daughters or wives are getting in there with long hair, that hair can wrap around the fan, and with enough of that hair can damage a pump. I've seen it happen. So it's very hard to kill these, but it is possible without the pre-filter. And that's one of the things I love about desert plunges. They use a great pre-filter. Once the water goes through the pump, it then goes through this filter. I replaced my paper filters with this stainless steel filter. There's a lot of different filters out there that I've tried. I've tried the carbon, I've tried some different paper, but they're kind of expensive. This was a similar price. It was a little more expensive than the carbon filter, but it's the only one I'll hopefully ever have to buy. And similar to the pre-filter, all I have to do is when it starts getting a little clogged up and I can see out here, I keep this one pretty clean. All I have to do is turn it off, unplug it, spray it out with a hose, put it back in, and it's brand new. I don't have to keep buying paper filters. So this is a really cool hack. If any of you have a cold plunge like this using the same 10-inch by 4.5 inch, I want to say it's 10 by 4.5 inch filter, I'll have a link to what I'm using down in the description below. Feel free to use it. I just ordered them on Amazon. But yeah, that is the maintenance. I haven't done anything with the chiller. The chiller has just been operational. It's been working great. And then the only other thing I mentioned is ozone, and I do have it running. I completely botched that up. I said I ran it for 2 to 3 hours. I have this thing turning on at 11 at night and it stays on till 6 a.m. So that's an awful lot of ozone. That's probably why my water is like neon blue. So I need to back that up a little bit. There's no need to do that unless it's getting a lot of use, but that's all your discretion. Obviously, I'm just sharing how I am treating this and what I am doing with this, but ozone is a very big plus in my book for a cold plunge. Now, I will say this, the material on the outside, it's super durable, but because I have it under these trees and I've moved it around a lot and it's white and I'm here in Florida, sometimes it can capture some dirt. So what I do, just like a car, I grab some cleaner, I grab some soap, I grab a mitten, and I wash the outside of this tub. Makes it look really clean. I cleaned it a few months ago. I made a video about cleaning it. So if you need a resource on that, like, you can see how I go through my entire full detail process of cleaning this thing. But what I love about it is there's actually 2 drain points. There's a drain on one side here, And then the other side, which is where it goes into the components, once you remove the components, you can actually drain the water from both holes. So it drains really, really fast. If you're ever in a situation where you just need to get the water out and you need to drain it, you can drain it using both of those holes, which is really cool. But the tub itself has stayed super durable. It stayed way cleaner than I expected. I really expected this to get really ugly really fast. And I hope Matt and Bree don't mind me making a video like this. I haven't even asked them, but I wanted to just go over like my real experience with this after using it for well over a year now out here in Florida. I mean, like the stickers are still on. There's just some things about this cold plunge that I really like, and it's why I keep making content. It's why I keep telling people like, hey, like there's a lot of great options out there, and yes, go for the option that's best for you. I'm gonna make an entire video on answering the 5 most important questions that you need to ask before you buy any cold plunge. Remember, it's the cool thing about me is like, I'm not exclusive to Desert Plunge or exclusive to any brand. I get to share my experience with all these different brands at any given moment, whenever I want to. And it's because of viewers like you, it's because of you that I'm able to. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're able to subscribe to the channel and watch all the other content. I know lately I've been putting out some vlog style videos. Like me and my wife, we've been married for 15 years. We have 4 amazing kids, and we're blessed to be able to do some cool challenges together. We just ran our first marathon. We ran our first high rocks over summer. We've gone on some trips that just make no sense. They just are mind blowing, and I'm bringing my camera with me and filming it and putting together some videos. So obviously I love sharing my reviews and how-tos and all that stuff, but I'm also a real guy. I'm just a real dude, and I like connecting with people. So if you like me for more than just my reviews and stuff, please subscribe to the channel and watch some of my other videos. It really means the world to me. I love sharing and I love engaging with people like you. So here's the question that's probably on your mind. Like, is the Desert Plunge a cold plunge worth investing in? Well, seeing as if you really start at the basics, like the very beginning of cold plunging, which is just taking a cold shower, which is how most people start. Usually the next step is buying ice and putting it into a tub or a horse trough or a Rubbermaid tub or something like that. You know, and what I realized when I first started cold plunging, that's what I did. And I realized because I'm in Florida that ice gets pretty expensive, right? So there's 2 things you can do. One, you can build your own DIY from whichever options you want. I have a lot of resources on my channel too. Like if you go into my DIYs and go back to like most played videos, I think they're still my most popular videos. The DIY cold plunge videos, like I'll walk you through all the different setups that I did. They still cost money. Like the chiller still cost $700-800. The pump still cost $100 or so. All the components to create that cold plunge, like the components themselves cost about $1,000 before ozone, before cutting it, before your time. And then if you got a tub like this is exclusive to Desert Plunge, right? But like any tub like this with this kind of insulation is thousands of dollars. They're over $1,000. And you want insulation, because if you don't have insulation, your chiller is having to work overtime to try to keep your water cold. You have to ask the question, is it worth it investing a couple $1,000, $200 to $2,500, and build something yourself, right? You get to do the cutting, and some people like that. You get to do the cutting, you get to do the drilling, you get to do all the figuring out yourself, which is cool. Some people like that DIY to save a little bit. But then if anything happens, you're on your own. Or is it worth it to invest into the company, investing into having Desert Plunge have your back? That's some of the things that I realized. When I was doing DIYs, I was spending an extra $100 here and an extra $100 there to get these new things and try these new things. That's where you have to ask that question yourself. Do you want to save money and do your own version? Or do you want to have a company have your back and have a product that has been proven to work? I've put it through the ringer. Thousands of others have put it through the ringer, and it's still one of the most affordable cold plunges on the market. Just to wrap that whole thing up, people typically start with a cold shower, do some sort of a DIY where they still end up spending around $1,000 or so. But then the next step, there's really not a lot of options between that DIY, and it's like most cold plunges now are $5,000 plus. Desert Plunge still makes a great option that's, I think, $3,000, and you can use discount code MOSS and save some money and all that fun stuff. But it's an easy cold plunge for me to recommend to people because it is dependable. It hasn't failed me. It's a great company with great people, and it's affordable. So that's my ramble. That's my explanation of how I've enjoyed the Desert Plunge exclusive for a year. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless.